What's up, guys? It's time for another Developer Diaries. It's been a while since I released my last one. I got a lot of good stuff in this one. Actually, two big features that are near and dear to my heart. A lot of requests for those features. Just great stuff. I mean, it's something I use like personally a lot. So I'll go through those two things with you. But one of those is the inventory management, which is going to allow you to manage your inventory on your flavors and your nicotine and your PGVG. Huge deal. Really cool stuff. You'll see just how cool it is when we dive into the next couple of parts. In addition to that, I also got one other feature that was really cool. Probably most requests out of any of them was private recipes. So now you'll be able to save your recipes in a private mode, so other people won't be able to see them. So you can actually create a recipe, save it as private, mix it, make some adjustments to it, and once everything's good, you can publish that sucker and make it public. But it's a really cool feature. Both of them are out, both of them can be used now. So without further ado, let's dive in and I'll show you both cool things. All right, guys, so let's go over the two new features that are out in Vape Dish. We have our inventory feature and we have our private recipes. Two very special and dear to my heart features that I wanted to get out there sooner than later. Sorry about my voice. I'm actually getting over a cold and I don't want to let it go away for some reason. But anyway, so let's move on. Let's go into our recipe builder and I'll show off the first really cool feature here. So the very first thing you'll see is now you have the ability to save your own private recipes. So with this, you can now create your own little recipe. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe you want to pick a better name than that, right? But anyway, you put a recipe in there. And then you could actually just save it as a private, and you can save it as a public recipe later. Oh, it's like 11 because I don't have any flavors in there. I'll add one. Save it as a private recipe, and there you go. And then you could come back later and make it public if you wanted to. You would just basically publish it here, and that would make it public. So private recipe is pretty simple to get to them. You would go in here and go to your My Recipe section, and you'll see that your private recipes are now marked with private. You can filter them too. So you can go in here and say, okay, only show me my private recipes, which is pretty cool. No one else will be able to see your private recipes. You just saw mine. But anyway, no one else will be able to see your private recipes. So you can make as many of them as you want. There's just one catch. We do have a subscription model now, and so you're allowed up to 10 private recipes, and then after that you just need to get the subscription, which is $2 a month. But the thing about the subscription is it helps us to put future development into Vape Dish and to develop more and more features going forward, and it helps us to kind of keep it alive. But anyway, so subscription models are here. Feel free to kind of go through that and see what you get with that, but the private recipes is definitely one feature that you'll get with that. Alright, so let's move on. So private recipe is pretty simple, as you can see. The next thing that was highly requested and very cool was the inventory. So let's go through that piece here. So with your inventory, over here you have this new bar. So once you've logged in, you'll have this new menu item called inventory. So this top bar here is where you turn your inventory on and off. So if you don't want to track inventory, just leave this unchecked, and what's going to happen is it's not going to tell you your inventory levels on the recipe, and it won't allow you to track it. But if you select this, you'll know when you go into a recipe, and we'll see what that looks like a little bit later. You'll know how much of a certain thing that you have, so that way you can adjust that. So this is where you track your propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, nicotine. What's cool about the nicotine is I know a lot of people have different levels of nicotine, so you can add more than one. You might have a 24 milligram bottle, maybe you have a 100 milligram per milliliter bottle, so you can add that in here. You give each one a name, so that way you recognize it. And then your flavors, you'll just add your flavors, and in here you'll put, you'll search for the flavor that's in the inventory, or sorry, you'll search for a flavor that exists in the database, and then you'll add it here. For example, if I wanted to add Bitter Wizard, I would click this guy, right, and you'd put the quantity on hand. This is all milliliters, so maybe I have 40 milliliters on hand, but I want to say I carry up to a maximum of 50, right? And you can add that and then save it. You can also add more than one in this window here. So now with the flavors, this one again is gated by what's called a feature limit. So basically, if you don't have a subscription, you can add up to 10 flavors, I believe, and then after that, you just need to get the subscription. Then you can add unlimited. So what's really cool about this is if you do get a subscription and you add as many flavors as you want, you can cancel a subscription and you can you're not going to lose what you added in there. So really, you just need the subscription for when you're using it, right? I mean, if you're very busy with it, use it all the time, then obviously it makes sense to keep it. We'd appreciate it, but if you're not using it, there's no point in having it, to stay active. So that was the whole point. That's why we didn't want to take features away. So once you've unlocked them, you've unlocked them. You just won't be able to add any more until you reactivate your subscription. So that's how you would set up your inventory. You can also go back in here and you can edit your quantities. So let's go back and to see what this looks like. So now if I wanted to say go mix this recipe here, you'll see that now it shows my inventory levels, says what I've got and what I don't. So you'll see that this coconut rum, I don't actually have this in stock. So I'll get this little button here to add it to inventory quickly. Let's say maybe I purchased it. I can go in here and add it from here, right? It'll put it in there for me, and I can just put the quantity on hand, quantity max. But the golden pineapple I definitely have. So once we're ready to mix a recipe, we'll go in here to the mixing lab, and you'll see that our quantities are here as well. So what we can do is there's a new little feature here, is because I understand that some people may not use the same manufacturers. So like, for example, this is Wonder Flavor Coconut Rum. Maybe I don't have Wonder Flavor, maybe I want to use a different one. Now I will throw this preface out there. If you do that, obviously it changes the recipe slightly, right? You may not get the desired outcome, but nonetheless you can actually substitute with something in your inventory. So you can go, oh, well, I don't want to use that, I want to use something else, and you could select that. For example, this, not to say that I would do that, but kind of give an example, you could do that, and now you have all of your inventory levels. Once you're done, you've made your adjustments, you can click this adjust inventory button, and that's going to adjust your inventory levels for everything for this mix. So pretty straightforward. And as you do this, you'll notice that your inventory is kind of going down. And later on I'm going to add more things to the inventory section. But another cool little feature is if you come in here and you decide, oh, it's right, I'm ready to make an order, what do I need to order? You can actually sort by the quantity least. So that'll kind of give you an idea of what you need to order. So this is kind of basing it on what you carry and the least amount that you have, to kind of give you a quick at a glance, what flavors you need to order next. And that's pretty much it, guys. So if you have any questions, comment on the bottom, let me know, ask away.